Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching us how to cut and sew a wrap dress with pleated hemline. So this is a picture of what we're trying to make. Yeah, so while you sit back, relax and watch the tutorial, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button, leave your comment and reactions, and do not forget to hit the like button. Yeah, so this is a wrap dress, okay, with pleated hemline. Now to do this, we're going to be drafting a basic dress pattern, okay, and we're going to be starting with the back pattern. So on my table here I have my folded paper, okay, and I've drawn some lines I'll be explaining briefly. So the first line here is my shoulder line, okay, and from this point to the second line is my shoulder to my chest line, okay, shoulder to my chest line. Then I have shoulder to my bust point, which is this next line here, shoulder to my bust point, then shoulder to the half length, shoulder to the hip line, okay. Shoulder to the hip line is 24 inches, which is what most people use, okay. Then shoulder to wherever you want the length of the dress to stop. So, and then you stop wherever you want the length of the dress to be. Okay, so shoulder to chest line is half of your armhole circumference, right? Now, for my neck width, I will be working with either 3.5 inch or 4 inch, okay? So, by 1 inch, you know, we're drafting the back. So this is 3.5 by 1 inch, okay. Then my across back measurement is 7, okay. I'll mark the same thing on my chest line. So now I'm going to draw a straight line connecting my shoulder to my chest line, okay. Half of the armhole circumference is the distance from shoulder to chest line. Now the chest line, I'll mark quarter of my bust circumference plus 1 inch for side seam allowance, okay, but I'm not adding allowance yet. So on the waistline, I'll be adding quarter of my waist circumference plus 1 inch for that. Then on the hip line, quarter of the hip, okay. And then on the hemline, I'm doing pencil, so that's quarter of hip minus 1, right? So that should be 9.5. So if you notice I didn't add any seam allowance, I want to do that when I'm transferring to my fabric, okay. Now I added 1 inch to the waistline for that, but in the real sense, I will not be sewing the that. I only added the 1 inch to the waistline for ease, okay. So I'm linking all the points together like so. Now I want to create the armhole, okay, and the shoulder slant. Now from the shoulder line, I'll come down my 1 inch and create my shoulder slant like so. I'll create it this way, and then with my armhole curve or my French curve, I'm going to create my armhole. So I'll find the midpoint from the slanted shoulder to the shoulder chest line, find the midpoint, come in by ½ inch like I've done, and then I'll use my French curve to create the curve of my armhole like so. So my back pattern is almost ready. I think I need to do that again. The marker is not showing properly on the paper, so I need to place my curve back and create the armhole curve. Okay, yeah, this is it. So I'll be adding ½ inch to the neckline, the shoulder slants, and the side seam. Okay, so I'm drawing out the dart now in case you want to add that to your own. Okay, so the dart should stop on the chest line and 2 inches before the hip line, and then I marked half of my bust span away from the center back, okay. So you just mark ½ inch on both sides of the line, and then you draw your dart, okay. So like I said, I'm just drawing out this dart for those who might want to, you know, add that to their dresses, okay. And then it will also be a guideline for us, but I don't want to, you know, draft the wrap in front, but I will not be sewing the dart on the dress. I hope that is clear. So I'm just blending up all the sharp edges. So I'll be adding 1 inch for side seam allowance. So armhole seam allowance, shoulder slant, and the neckline is ½ inch, okay. So but the back will be on fold, right? So I'll go ahead now and cut this out and transfer to my fabric. So here it is. You can see that the back is on fold. My neckline and shoulder slant and armhole is 1/2 inch, side seam allowance is 1 inch, right? Then you add 1/2 inch to the hemline. So this is my back. Okay, so I'll be cutting the facing for this. Now to draft the front, which is the main highlight of this dress, okay, I would use my tracing wheel to trace out this dart to show on the other side of the paper. Okay, like I said, the dart will be a guideline in drafting our wrap. Okay, so I'm going to trace out the dart, okay, so that it shows on the other side of the pattern. Meanwhile, you know, for front, your dart should stop at least 2 inches before the bust point line, the BP line. So I am redrafting the dart because we want to adapt this pattern for the front. Okay, so now I will get my ruler and adjust the dart before I go ahead to trace out. So my dart is stopping 2 inches before the bust point line, like this. So I'll start tracing from that blue the blue mark, right? Okay, so once I trace like so, this is called the tracing wheel. It's used to transfer markings from your pattern paper, you know, to another, instead of having to draft all over and over again. Okay, it reduces your rate of mistakes and all. Okay, so I'll just open up, okay, and then I'll just use my marker now to trace out the, you can see the perforated part on my paper, so I'll just trace out with my marker so that we can see it properly, like so. Okay, so here, this is the dart on the front pattern. Now we're going to create a style line for our wrap, and the wrap runs from one side of the front pattern to the other side. Okay, so you could actually create any kind of style you want. Now for the neck depth, I'll be coming down from the neckline. Remember the back neckline, we came down by 1 inch, so I'll take out 1 inch there. Okay, so I can do 7 or 8. This is where the wrap is going to cross. Okay, now you can pick any side for your wrap, either on the right side or the left hand side. It actually depends on your preference, right? So now I'm going to use like my pencil to trace out, you know, the style line first. If I'm satisfied, then I can now use my marker. So now I came down by 7.5, sorry, this is about 8 inches, like I said, 8 inches there. So from here, I will now use my ruler now to first of all draw out the neckline. Then, okay, so then I will link this to the edge of my dart, so that way I will eliminate the dart on this side of the dress. Okay, I don't want this dart, so I'll just look for it to link that to the edge of the dart there, and then just blend up with my curve like this. So at the end of the day, I am completely eliminating the dart on this side of the dress. Can you see that? So I don't need all this part again. Then I'll just draw this all the way down like so. Then if you want to, you can make the hemline to be straight. Okay, can make it straight. I'm still trying to blend up here very well. So you can make the hemline to be straight, or you can make it slightly curved like I'm going to do. So I'll use the curved part of my ruler to, you know, make this slightly curved instead of just having a very straight look like this. You see that? So I will actually cut the unwanted part out. So for the wrap, we're going to be having two of this, right? So I will trim off the unwanted parts, okay, starting from the neckline there. So I'll just trim that off, and then I will transfer it to my fabric, and I'll be cutting 2 of that like I said initially. Okay, so let me just trim off. Now I hope you're enjoying this tutorial. Please do not forget to subscribe. Make sure you share, like, and leave your comments, right? So I'm just trimming off the unwanted parts. Now you may or may not line this dress, Okay, so I'm not lining mine, I'm just cutting out a facing for my dress. So a facing is a shorter version of your dress. Okay, so like I said, I'll be cutting out 2 of this, and I'll do that right now. I'll place it on my fabric. Okay, so yeah, we're doing ×2 of this. So I'm adding 1/2 inch here, all the way down, 1/2 inch round. My side seam allowance is 1 inch. Then armhole 1/2 inch, shoulder slant 1/2 inch. Okay, so I hope we got that. Now I will transfer to my fabric like so. So this is my fabric. So like I said, I'll be cutting out the facing. Now I'll let my facing get to at least my half length, and I'm using the same fabric as my facing. Okay, so it's not fully lined, right? So we're going to start with the back pattern. This is my back pattern now. You can see the facing. The facing is just a shorter version of your dress. It's not a full lining. So this is it. So I'll go ahead now and sew the neckline with 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch seam allowance, just the neckline. So I'll sew it and notch it and give it a very good press, right? Then for the front, it's pretty simple too. Very simple. For the front, this is it here. This is just one side of the wrap. You can also see my facing. I used the fabric as a facing. So right side facing right side. This is it here. Okay, so all I'll just do is I'll be sewing there 1/2 inch up to my half length. Okay, because the facing is like 3 or 4 inches after my half length. Then you would have to make something like a belt. The belt should be like 2.5 inches wide. Okay, so you're going to fix your belt somewhere there. So this is the belt here. I'm using doll face for this. It's a short belt, so I'll just place it here. Okay, like I said, you're gonna place it, you know, exactly after your 1/2 inch mark. My half length is 17 inches, so I'll just sew there. Okay, for this and the second side of my front too. You know, we have 2 front pieces. So for these other front pieces, I'm using the fabric as the second belt. I don't want to use doll face for the both belt. It's the same thing. Okay, so meanwhile for this other dress, the belt is longer because this is the one that will go round. This is one that will go round. So I'm using it, a longer belt and the same fabric, right? So I'll also place it here at my half length mark. So from the top to where the beginning of the belt is my half length. So I'll just go ahead and sew with 1/2 inch from the top there all the way down. Okay, you can see where my half length is. So let me just go ahead to my sewing machine and sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance, right? Okay, so I'm done sewing. So this is my back pattern, sorry, my back fabric. I finished sewing the neckline. Okay, then this is one of my front piece. One of the front piece, you can see the belt. Okay, so right side facing right side like so. I'll go ahead and sew the shoulder of one of the fronts to the shoulder of the back. Same thing with the second front piece, shoulder to shoulder. I'm going to sew it like that with 1/2 inch. Okay, then coming to the side seam. For the side seam is very easy. Okay, now for my side seam, the belt, yeah, so the one with the longer piece will pass through the other side of the dress, and then the shorter piece won't pass through anyway, right? So this longer piece, we have to open a space there. I mean this longer one, we have to open a space somewhere between the half lengths. Okay, so the space should be about probably 2 inches wide. But this other side of the dress here, there won't be any opening. You just sew 1 inch all the way down. Okay, so I'll just go and do that right now and show us. Okay, so here, this is the opening I was talking about here. So I'll just show us. Okay, the longer piece, okay, The longer piece is going to pass through an opening here. The one I asked us to leave open about 2 inches wide. So you just pass the belt, you know, you pass it here and then take it out, then to go all the way to the back. Okay, you understand? And then it's going to be like this, right? And then the shorter one, which is this purple one, will be outside. Okay, so that longer one will just go around the back and then you tie whatever you want to tie here. Now we're going to be adding an attachment to the hemline of our dress, starting from the front all the way down and then to the other side. Now also this part here. Now you're going to be cutting out a very long piece. That's like 3 or 4 times the original length of the hemline. Okay, so for this piece I'm using my satin fabric and it's about 2.5 inches wide. Okay, so you fold it, it should be on fold. Okay, so after folding it should be 2.5 inches wide. If you open it up, that should be 5 inches. So you fold like this and then you turn here with half an inch. Okay, now you will place that, you know, starting from one side of the front. Okay, and then it should be very close to where the belt starts from. We're going to be creating like a pleat, and it's better I use a contrasting color like I've done here. So I will place this piece here after I've closed it with half an inch. Okay, so I'll fold out like this first to the wrong side, sew with half an inch, and then you fold it back before you start the pleat. Okay, so I'll just place this here. Okay, and then I'll start pleating. I'll start pleating all the way down to the hemline of the dress. Okay, so the pleat will run down, then the hemline from the front into the back, like so. You keep on pleating to get to the other end of the front, and then you come and finish up at this other end of the wrap in front. Okay, so like I said, you would have measured this length and you're going to do like 3 or 4 times. It depends on how full you want it to be. So after pleating it, you're going to have something like this. Okay, something like this. It's really nice. I'm yet to fix the sleeve because I think we've done several tutorials on that. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. You could actually fix any kind of sleeve you want, but if you like this particular sleeve, I have done several tutorials on how to do a bishop sleeve. So I'll just drop the link in the description box for those who want to know how to draft and sew a bishop sleeve. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.